Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Giving all praise to the Most High and the Son Yahweh, coming back to you on the Friday night feast, and coming back to you on the Friday night feast, and I just say shalom to everybody that's tuning in or finna tune in or whatever the case may be. Hey, I hope everybody been having a good day or a good week, should I say? Hey, all praise for another Sabbath, man. Hey, we go ahead and jump straight into the thing. Today's title will be pick your chin up, you gotta survive. I'll say that again. Pick your chin up, you gotta survive. Because periodically we always gotta bring out these classes because brothers and sisters, they tend to get faint-hearted and be troublesome or whatever the case may be. But whenever you hear these scriptures, they give you comfort. And we can even get that, but first precept we're gonna go ahead and get is 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 17. My brother Razatop, by the way, brother Donovan, and brother Ezra, got Barakai over here on the camera. Officer Barakai on the camera. I'll praise for that. Hey man, that vibe is just something, it don't really go away, man. But 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 17. Yeah, I know y'all gonna talk about my I spell the title and stuff, but hey, forget this English language, man. We need to come back to our language anyway. Not for folk. Maccabees, I'm waiting on you tomorrow, man. But let's go ahead and get to it.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4 and verse 17. For our light affliction.
For our what?
For our light affliction.
The reason I brought this precept out first is because we got to always be reminded of that. For our light affliction, man. Meaning like, hey, anything that we go through, even with Job, that was considered light, man. And even with Paul, because we're going to touch on some of that. Hey, David, and a whole lot of our forefathers, the Maccabees, and so on and so forth, man. They all went through things, even with us, to this day. But yet, those are still light afflictions, man. And it's true because the Most High God and the Son Yahweh said. So we got to believe on those things. Because even Christ, it was a light affliction to him because he knew that he had to die for his people, man. For he had to do it for a reason, man. And I'll praise for that reason too. But go ahead.
Which is but for a moment.
But it's what?
Which is but for a moment.
Because it's only for a moment, man. It's temporary. Which is gonna say, later on in the precept, it's temporary. It's just for a moment. It's like even like, hey, you stub your toe or like hit your knee. Hey, it hurt right then and there, but hey, after a while, it will go away. Because it's but for a moment. But go ahead.
Work it for us. A far more exceeding in eternal weight of glory.
Because hey, even with all this stuff that we got going on in our everyday lives, hey, no, it's for a good cause, man. Hey, it's for that kingdom. So hey, we got to keep on enduring these things, man. Because hey, we want the kingdom. It's not all gonna be in vain, man. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to, and it's true. But go ahead.
While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen.
Which are what?
Which are not seen.
Read that one more time, man.
While we look, verse 18 from the top, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal.
Are what?
Are temporal.
Because the things that we see on our everyday life, those things are temporary, like how it was saying in the previous verse or whatnot. But go ahead.
But the things which are not seen are eternal.
Are what?
Are eternal.
So basically, the whole sum up of that precept is letting you know, hey, focus on the bigger picture, man. Hey, focus on the things that are not seen, man. Because hey, it's gonna be nothing but glory, man. Ain't gonna be no more tears and pain and suffering, man. So we gotta, wrap our heads around this thing. But the next precept we're gonna get is Psalms 34 and verse 17. Wherever you get them.
The book of Psalms, chapter 34 and verse 17. The righteous cry.
The what?
The righteous cry.
So hey, just off the back, the righteous cry. Hey, we know that the Most High God, he gonna hear that, like it's gonna say. But go ahead.
And the Lord hear it.
He did what?
And the Lord hear it.
Because he know that you ain't doing it for like a vain type of cry or a wicked type of cry. Man. he said a righteous cry. We know what righteousness is according to the Bible. Any of the twins or Trey, Hosea, Uriah, if y'all in the group chat, well, not the group chat, but the comment section, hey, y'all tell me what righteousness is, man. For those that don't know, it's, I ain't even gonna say it, but go ahead.
And delivered them out of all their trouble.
They did what?
And delivered them out of all their trouble.
Because any type of trouble that we go through, the Most High God, hey, he always make a way to escape, man. Because, hey, you can do it your own way, or you can do it the Most High God's way. And you see, like, the outcomes, man. Because a lot of times when you do, well, every time you do it your way, hey, Most High God say, nah, okay, since you don't want to listen, hey, I'm just, keep on bringing these things upon you. But, hey, at the same time, we know whom the Lord loves, he chasten. That's one of my favorite precepts I always bring out, man. Because once you start listening and taking heed, he's still gonna chastise you even if you're doing right. But just know he dealing with you. If you ain't getting chastised, hey, you better check your spirit, man. But go ahead.
Verse 18. The Lord is not unto them that are of a broken heart.
Read that one more time.
The Lord is not unto them that are of a broken heart.
So the Lord is near and dear to us, man. Especially like brothers and sisters in this truth. Hey, because he see that we are trying to at least attempt to, keep the laws and commandments to the best of our ability. Right. Versus, our Christian counterparts and like other brothers and sisters that's not in this truth, man. Because it just get to the point where you feel like that you can do any and everything and expect the Most High God to be near and dear to you. Mm-hmm. Right. But then as soon as you go through something, yeah, you say, "Oh God," but hey, you still want to turn from that weakness, man, because you go back and do the same thing again. It's because it's all a learning lesson, man. But go ahead.
And save it such as be of a contrite heart.
Of a what?
Of a contrite spirit.
Uh-huh.
And save it such as be of a contrite spirit.
Read on.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
What?
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
So hey, at any given time, the righteous is always gonna be afflicted. But again, remember the point. Hey, it's all for a good thing in the end. But go ahead.
But the Lord delivered him out of all them. Them all.
Uh-huh.
Verse 20.
Uh-huh.
He keepeth all his bones.
Uh-huh.
Not one of them is broken.
Is what?
Is broken.
Because like even when you look at on the spiritual aspect, this is talking about Christ, man. But like even on the what you could say like a corner level or whatnot, or like on a simpler level, it's talking about us. We can't be touched, man. When we had the Most High God fighting for us. But go ahead.
Verse 21. Evil shall slay the wicked.
Evil shall what?
Evil shall slay the wicked.
Because we know the Most High God, he create good and evil. He do good, he do evil as well, man. But go ahead.
And they that hate the righteous shall be dead.
Shall be what?
Shall be dead.
Notice that evil is gonna come to the wicked and desolation is gonna come to the wicked. But what's the opposite of that? It's gonna be nothing but glory and joyful rejoicing or whatnot. But go ahead. For the righteous. But go ahead. Shalom.
The Lord redeemed the soul of his servant.
Of his who?
Of his servant.
Hey, who is the servants? Brothers that's in the group chat or in the comment section. But go ahead. And
none of them that trust in him shall be desolate.
Because hey, if you trust in the Most High God, you ain't gonna be desolate, man. When them nukes and Jacob troubles hit the scene or whatnot, hey, we ain't gonna be trouble. Because we know that all prophecy has to be fulfilled, man, whether we like it or not. So we got to keep on, enduring this thing and always have that patience, man. Because sometimes we be like, damn, when the Most High God gonna come back? Or damn, whenever I can't wait for the Most High God to come back, or whatever the case may be. But hey, you better make sure your spirit is in check first, man, before you hope for any of us. You got something? Go ahead. Next precept we're gonna get is Romans 5:1. Because I'm gonna be jumping, back and forth to Psalms and Paul's letters, man. Because Psalms was written by David, and David went through a whole lot of things too, man. So them are the two brothers I'm really gonna be touching on. No, Romans 5:1. Sure. Go ahead.
The book of Romans, chapter 5 and verse 1. Therefore, being justified by faith.
By what?
By faith.
Hey, we know what faith is, man. Hey, it's putting forth some type of action, man. But go ahead.
We have peace with God.
We have what?
We have peace with God through our Lord Yahweh Shai Christ, by whom also we have access by faith into this grace.
Into this what?
Into this grace, wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of God.
Of what?
Of God.
Because like that's another thing that we gotta also touch on. Like you not being troublesome or whatnot, or whatever the case may be, hey, that shows where your faith lies in, man. Because yeah, you may look at it like, man, my mama's not in this truth, or my brother ain't in this truth, or my dad ain't in this truth. Hey, you gotta worry about like what the Most High God has in front of you right now. Because who's to say the Most High God won't put them in the truth, somewhere down the line, or even going on to like if your rent ain't being paid or whatever the case may be, man. Hey, you gotta always have that faith, man. Because that faith, it brings you a long way, as well as that grace. But go ahead. And the patience.
Verse 3. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also.
Read that again.
But we glory in tribulations also.
So hey, we ain't gonna be like, woe is me in tribulations. Hey, we're gonna glory in those things, man. Because like how I brought out in the beginning of the class, it's not for like a vain thing, man. It's gonna be for a great thing. But go ahead.
Knowing that tribulation worketh patience.
Do what?
That tribulation worketh patience.
Because all these things you're going through, hey, it's gonna just continue to build up your faith, continue to build up your patience, hey, and all these things, man. But go ahead.
In patience, experience.
Hey, because it's a trickle down effect. It says tribulation worketh patience, and patience worketh experience. Because like even with me, I'll be in the truth for 4 years, and I think I am 4 years, somewhere in January or whatever they call New Year's, but I'll be 4 years versus like, brothers like Trey and twins and whatnot, basically I'll have more experience because, I've been in it longer, but then I got to set that example for those brothers, or like even with the captains, setting examples for us and the officers and so on and so forth. Hey, because it's going to be a trickle down effect. You're going to show those brothers like, hey, man, you're going to be all right, man. We all done been through this thing. Hey, just keep on it there and keep on pushing, man. Because we all had these same type of questions and had these troubles on our mind. But once we started growing in this truth, and gaining more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we start to see like what it's really for, man. But go ahead.
In patience, experience. In experience, hope.
And what?
In experience, hope.
Because hey, we are hoping that the Most High God send His Son back. We know it's going to happen because hey, our prophecy got to be fulfilled, man. But it's a trickle down effect. But go ahead.
Verse 5. And hope make it not ashamed.
Read that again.
And hope make it not ashamed.
Hey, because when you have that hope, you ain't gonna be ashamed, man. You ain't gonna be ashamed to teach His word, go out to the highways and byways. You ain't gonna be ashamed to tell your mama or your daddy that they're wrong in certain aspects and whatnot, and you'll be happy to show them because it's the way that you do that as well, man. Because you can't just beat them down to the ground and whatnot, because you are supposed to honor your mother and father. But go ahead.
Because the love of God is shed abroad in our heart.
In our what?
In our heart.
In our mind, according to Jeremiah 17:9. Go ahead.
By the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us.
Unto what?
Which is given unto us.
Because we know what the Holy Ghost is. Acts 7:51, man. Going into this word, man. But go ahead.
Verse 6. For when we were yet without strength, in due time, Christ died for the ungodly.
He did what?
Christ died for the ungodly.
Because hey, when we was without strength, or when we was without a king, hey, Christ, He died, for the ungodly, man. Going into the the ungodly of Israel, that is. But go ahead.
Verse 7. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die.
Will one what?
Will one die.
No, that's all I wanted on that. I mean, we read 6, but next precept we're gonna get is Psalms 119 and verse 71. Until y'all be ready.
I'll let you jump up in.
119 and 71.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 71. It is good for me that I have been afflicted.
Read that again.
It is good for me that I have been afflicted.
So again, this is King David. Hey, it has been good for me that I've been afflicted, man. Because even when David had went out, he knew that hey, it's gonna be things that happen to him because he went out. But he knew that hey, I made haste and I delayed not to keep the commandments, man. But go ahead.
That I might learn thy statutes.
That I might what?
That I might learn thy statutes.
Because David was always after the Most High God. Because he was like, man, I'm trying to, make it to the kingdom. I'm trying to, do all things like how you want me to do them, man. Because even he became king over Israel to the point where Solomon had 40 years of peace, man. So you got to know that man was really after the Most High God to give your son, like long after you did, to give your son 40 years of peace, man. But go ahead.
The law of thy mouth is better unto me than thousands of gold and silver.
Because I know we always talk about Solomon being the wisest king, on the planet or ever known to man. But hey, David had some wisdom too, man.
That's right.
Hey, he required that wisdom knowledge to understand that the Most High God, even though he went out, because Solomon went out too, man. But hey, that's a subject for another time. But he said, the law of thy mouth is better unto me than silver, than thousands of gold and silver, man. So he's like, hey, I'm being afflicted, but hey, I'm still gonna search after you, Lord. Hey, I don't even care about the gold and silver, man, because I know what's really a state, man, for me. But next precept we're gonna get is Psalms 22 and verse 24.
Matter of fact, before you go there, go to Hebrews real quick, chapter 11. Just to get a little bit more on that faith, man. Because guess what? We was reading Romans 5:1 about faith, but even David had faith, man. Mighty faith. Through the Most High. Through the Most High, man, he was able to do all these things. Yeah, David, we know David was a mighty king. Mighty. One thing David never gave up was faith in the Lord, man. He didn't just make these parables. He didn't write them things in Psalms just for himself. He wrote it for the world to come, man. Like even Ak was saying, David had a lot of wisdom on him, man. Watch this. Matter of fact, I wanted to get one. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and get to it. Let's go to 11:32.
11:32.
So the whole gist of Hebrews chapter 11:1 is going into faith. Everybody who have faith, but shown by works too, because we know, hey, faith without works is dead, right? Now it's going to show you this thing, right? Go ahead. Right?
The book of Hebrews, chapter 11 and verse 32. And what shall I say more? What shall I more say? For the time would fail me to tell of Gideon, and of Barak, and of Samson, and of Jephthah, and of Jephthah, of David also, and Saul, and Samuel, and of the prophets.
So guess what? Throughout this whole thing, when Paul was writing this, he was going through by faith. Moses did this. By faith. Guess what? By faith, it says Moses. By faith. Guess what? Even like how he went through all these prophets. Abraham, Isaac, he's going through all of these things. Jacob said, man, he said, once he got to the end, he said, what more shall I say? He said, for the time would fail me. Guess what? I run out of time to tell you about all the things Gideon done did. Barak, Samson, Jephthah. He said, and David also, because guess what? David was a mighty man, but guess what? He kept faith in the Lord, man. He kept mighty faith through the Lord, man. And it says Samuel, and of the prophets, showing you everybody had faith, right? Now you think, oh, that's all we need is faith, right? Now watch this, read 33.
Verse 33. Whom through faith.
Through faith. That's the point we can never forget, man. Through faith. What did he do?
Subdued kingdom.
Guess what? Subdued is a verb. That's an action word, man. They had faith and they put works in it. Guess what? With faith of a Mashiach Yahweh, man, and of the Lord. Guess what? This is what they was able to do. Read,
Wrought righteousness.
Guess what? They subdued kingdom. They wrought righteousness. Read.
Obtained promises.
Guess what? They obtained promises, man. Because guess what? The Lord promised David. He said, hey, your seed is going to be the seed that's going to lead you, man. Guess what? Your son, your lineage, all the way through your sons. Guess what? Christ's going to come out of that lineage, man. That's the promises that he gave to all of us, man. Go ahead.
Stop the mouth of lions.
And that's tough, man. I'm telling you, you can read on down to these things, man. Man, we got to read 34.
Verse 34. quench the violence of fire.
Man, read.
Escape the edge of the sword.
Guess what? Because you gotta have wisdom with that thing, man. Guess what? Think about it. David fell in a bad place at one bad time. Because we had to keep it in context with the title of the class. Pick your chin up. Because guess what? David went off, and guess what? He was mourning. He fasted for a week. The Lord, guess what? He said, I'm still gonna kill your son.
Right.
Guess what? He mourning, man. He's fasting. He fainting. He's just on the floor the whole time.
Right.
People have to come pick him up.
That's right.
He said, man, come on, man. And guess what? His wife comforted him. And guess what? They laid down. And guess what? The next son was Solomon, man.
That's right.
Think how the Lord will work with you through faith, man. Just because it don't go how you want it that first time. Just might not go the way that you want it that second time. Just because you just can't get it right. Don't give up on it, man. Right. Guess what? David never gave up. Guess what? The Lord literally told David, I'm going to punish you, man. He didn't get punished just once. His household went to shreds. Guess what? Solomon went out. Guess what? The kingdom started to split after 40 years after that. Guess what? All these things are starting to trickle down, and all these things went back. But guess what? They never quit, man. That's that faith, man. And through faith, he did all these things, man. He said, quench the violence of fire, escape the edge of the sword. Read on, huh?
Out of weakness were made strong.
Read that again, huh?
Out of weakness were made strong.
Guess what, man? He picked his damn head up and he said, hey, I'm strong through this, man. Guess what? The Lord picked me. He chose me. I got to be worth something, man. Guess what? The Lord chose you to be in this truth. He told you, hey, you above all people. Guess what? You might be above all people. Guess we at a lower state right now, but you got to stand on that. Right. The Lord said you above all people according to Deuteronomy 76. You better stand on it. Right. Pick your damn chin up. Okay, hey, that light bill might have been off. Guess what? We got candles. Right. We all right. Guess what? You come to class. Guess you might be at class Monday, Wednesday. We used to be Monday. Look, now Wednesday, Thursday. Guess what? We come up there Friday, Saturday. Guess what? That's 5 days of life to me. You might just go 2 days without it. That's cool. Guess what? The Lord is gonna provide a way, man. But you can never give up that faith, man. Read on now.
Wax valiant in fight.
Man, come on, man. Wax valiant in fights, man. David was a little boy when he slayed Goliath, man. Think how much faith you gotta have for that thing, man. Man, that's tough, man. Read out.
Turn to flight. The armies of the aliens.
Of the who?
Of the aliens.
Man, they show you these things, man. We always gotta keep things in context, man. They always like to say, "Oh, we're the aliens that's grafted in." No, y'all these aliens, right? The ones that had to get killed, the enemies. Y'all the armies of those aliens. Guess what? The aliens is talking about annihilations. Guess what? That's talking about Israel and us being alienated from our truth, man. We will fight on multiple fronts with that thing, man. But guess what? Everything, like even I was just saying, man, in Job. Guess what? Everything's 2 of 2, man. Everything's double fold, triple fold. Guess what? This might be one time about this aliens, but there's more aliens. But the fact of the matter is, through faith, man, David was able to do all these mighty things, man, through his tribulation, man. Go ahead.
I praise you, man. Like even like that, I was bringing out all the things that David was going through. So like it was even to the point where the man caught an STD, man. I thought, man, he all craps down and stuff, man. And there's many other things that David went through, even with Christ. That's why I said that all the things that Christ did, it couldn't be numbered, like or like written down in the Bible. Because hey, Christ is that example. Because hey, he has some top-notch faith, man. Even though when it came close to the time of doing that for his people, he was like got a little faint heart. But then he like, man, what am I doing, man? I'm the king of Israel, man. Hey, I'm gonna take this shit on the chin. Shalaki, but But next precept we're gonna get is Psalms 22 and 24. Because I don't know if y'all caught my reference. I know Officer Brad Kine, he caught it off the bat. With the title, I always listen to Zero, man. But I had to put it in the class, man, because we gotta pick our chin up, man. Like it ain't no other way. You gonna pick the chin up or you gonna leave it on the ground, man. And then hey, when Christ comes back and you see the chin on the ground, hey, your chin really gonna be on the ground, man. But let's go ahead and get that though.
The book of Psalms, chapter 22 and verse 24. For he had not despised nor abhorred the affliction of the afflicted.
Read that one more time, man.
For he had not despised nor abhorred the affliction of the afflicted. Neither had he hid his face from him. But when he cried unto him, he heard.
He what?
He heard.
So hey, all the afflictions that we was going through, hey, he said he didn't hate them because another word for abhor is hate. And he said, neither had he hid his face from it, because we know who's afflicting us, man. We know it's the Most High God for our disobedience, though. We brought it upon ourselves. Right. But hey, as soon as he seen his son or his daughter, turn from their wicked ways, hey, he heard that cry, man. So that's something we really gotta, meditate on. Anytime we go through something, man, just call on the Lord. He said, hey, you call on me, you come back to me, hey, I'll be right here, man. Wholeheartedly, man. Never forget that, man. I'm telling you, it's to the point where, like, Most High God was basically practically begging you to, come back to him. Right. But he ain't finna play the game.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. But next precept we're gonna get.
Let me expand on that a little bit. Let me get that Sirach chapter 2 real quick.
I would put that in the end of the class, but hey, that's the spirit moving. Don't need to do that.
Let me get that Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10. Because it's literally going on basically on the same topic. How the Most High hearing you. You know what I'm saying? See, we might not believe. We might not believe, but the Most High is hearing some of the things that you were saying if you keep your law, statutes, and commandments. Right. You just gotta believe, bro. Can I get somebody to read that for me?
Yeah, the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 10. Mm-hmm. Look at the generations of old and see. Did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded?
So it says, look at the generations of old. We gotta take note of the things that happen in this Bible. You know what I'm saying? It says it's asking you, was any of the people confounded? Man, read.
Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken?
Abide in his fear. A lot of us don't understand what the fear of the Lord is. I want to get one more scripture on that, because that's the point. We got to start fearing the Lord, man. That when you in the fear of the Lord, that's a beautiful thing. If you read the book of Sirach chapter 1, it goes into the fear of the Lord. How it's a glorious thing, how it's full of rejoicing. The fear of the Lord is so many beautiful things, but it's just one thing I want to get to about the fear of the Lord, man. Read the rest of this real quick.
Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
That's the point. He said, who did he ever despise that called upon him? See, we call upon the Lord daily. And that's why I want to get that Sirach chapter 25 and verse 2 real quick. Verse 12. Because this month is tough. Once I found this out, I wanted everybody to know this. I wanted everybody to know. Read this real quick.
This is the book of Sirach chapter 25 and verse 12. Mm-hmm. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love.
Read that one more time.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of his love.
When you find the fear of the Lord, that's the beginning of the Most High God's love. That's why the fear of the Lord is very important. Psalms chapter 111 and verse 10 don't say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom for no reason. It's the beginning of his love also. Read.
And faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him.
It says faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him. Is the beginning of cleaving unto him. Man, hey, look, this thing is playing upon tables, man. This is the first thing we gotta find is the fear of the Lord.
That's right.
And I'm done with that.
All praise, man, because hey, that's a damn good precept. It says, and faith is the beginning of cleaving unto him, man. Meaning, hey, it all starts with you fearing the Lord, though, like that's most right. Important, man. Because if you're fearing the Most High God, you ain't gonna worry about nothing else, man. Mm-hmm. You ain't gonna have a troubled mind or whatnot. Not saying that we won't have it, because we are still of this flesh, man. But hey, we gotta always strengthen our spirit daily, man. That's why Paul said, I die daily, because he was always killing off that old man. But next precept we're gonna get is John 16 and 33.
You said 16
and 33.
The book of St. John, chapter 16 and verse 33. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me you might have peace.
You might have what?
You might have peace.
Because he said, hey, even with Christ, man, even when he walked this earth, hey, he was giving the disciples in Israel period, the rundown on the things that was gonna come to pass, even with the scribes and Pharisees coming against him. He said, hey, with me, you're gonna have some type of peace, man. But go ahead.
In the world, ye shall have tribulation.
In the what?
In the world, ye shall have tribulation.
She's also letting you know that, hey, in this world, you're going to have some type of tribulation, man, because we can't forget that we are still under these curses, man. But, hey, again, it's not for, it's not all for naught, should I say.
But be of good cheer.
But be of what?
But be of good cheer.
So you wonder why Christ was always like, he was called the comforter, man. Because he's always, comforting his people, man. Let you know that, hey, everything gonna be all right, man. We ain't talking about no Bob Marley. That was an Edomite, but go ahead.
I have overcome the world.
He did what?
I have overcome the world.
So Christ basically let you know, hey, I overcame the world, y'all can do it too, man. Because if I couldn't do it, or should I say, I basically wouldn't have put nothing up on you that you couldn't be able to bear, man. So I always set that example, man, and let you know that, hey, if I did it, you can do it too, man. But next precept, Romans 8 and 18.
The book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. Verse 18 from the top. For I reckon that the suffering of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us.
Man, like, I don't know if y'all caught that, but it's basically saying, hey, all the trials and tribulations and stuff that you're going through your everyday life, it can't even be compared to what's to come, man.
Right.
So, hey, that's why the scriptures, hey, repeat itself, man. It keeps on reiterating itself, letting you know that, hey, set your mind on the kingdom, man, because hey, that glory right there, you cannot compare that to the stuff that you're going through, man, because we can't forget, hey, this stuff that we're going through right now is temporary, man. That stuff that we finna get in the kingdom, Lord's will, hey, that is eternal, man. So no more getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock, whatever the case may be, man. No more having to worry about how you're gonna have to pay your rent and pay your phone bill or whatever the case may be, man. No more have to worry about like somebody dying in your family, man. I know, I don't know if you don't mind talking, like even with Ike, man, he lost his aunt like a week or two ago, man. And hey, Ike is right here with us, man. And he said he ain't even finna go to that funeral, man, because he like, hey, because the scriptures say let the dead bury the dead, man. Because hey, that's the Sabbath, but we know the Most High God's work come before ours, man. Because even with my uncle when he passed away, hey, my family, I guess they came to their senses or whatnot, man, because they had this funeral like on the Thursday or Friday. But hey, if it was gonna be on the Sabbath, I wasn't gonna attend it, man. Because hey, they wasn't in this truth, man. Because even with Christ, he even said that to his own mom and brother. He was like, hey, if they ain't keeping the commandments, hey, them ain't my family members, man.
Right.
Roughly paraphrasing.
Right.
These that keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, that's my family. And we're gonna have to get that through our head, man. Because they love father and mother more than me. It's not worth it, man. So hey, we gotta come back to this.
And another thing, man, y'all gotta make sure y'all start gathering, man.
Yeah.
Because you cannot do this thing by yourself. Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9 don't say two are better than one for no reason.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta make the effort to try and be around like-minded brothers and sisters. That's what the book of Sirach chapter 37 and verse 12 say. You know what I'm saying? Be ye continually with a godly man of understanding, who you know to keep the commandments of God. Because guess what? If you around this brother, I know I'm trying to be around this brother all the time. Sometimes I get tired. We all get tired. But at the same time, I try and bring around them as much as possible because their spirit can jump off on me.
That's right.
If they keeping the commandments. And if I'm keeping the commandments and they feeling down, guess what? We picking each other up and pulling each other back and forth, you know what I'm saying? Trying to make it to the kingdom, man. So you gotta open up your eyes, man, and realize you can't do this thing alone. It's the same thing with Adam and Eve. Adam needed to help me. The Lord seen that he couldn't do that thing on his own. So hey man, stop being prideful and start coming and trying to congregate amongst other brethren.
That's right.
That's all I want to say on that.
Because that plays a part in it too, man. That's why, hey, you see me and the brothers bringing out this class right now. Pick your chin up for the brothers and sisters that are going through something right now. Because, hey, iron sharpening iron, man. It's like you always supposed to exalt your brother in due season, man. Because these type of classes, they always uplift, brothers and sisters and, their spirits or whatnot. Because they could have been having a troublesome week, man. But as soon as they look at this class, they be like, man, all this stuff, yeah, it's temporary, man. And I'm keep on pressing to the mark and do better, man. On like how I manage these things, man. But read on that.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The book of Romans, chapter 8, and verse 19. Mm-hmm. For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the Son of God.
No, that was it. I was looking at chapter 7, verse 19. Next precept we're gonna get is James 5 and 11.
Yeah, I have to hold my second too. Somebody was you dang.
Yeah, got stuck good.
Hey, there you go. Hey, mine's the same way.
Well, got stuck, man. But go ahead.
The book of James, chapter 5, and verse 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure.
Start at 10. I'll pray. Start at 10 now.
So, the book of James, chapter 5, and verse 10. Mm-hmm. Take my brother.
My who?
My brother.
Hey, ask in the comment section what's the brother precept, man? But go ahead.
The prophets.
What's the prophet's precept too, man? Go ahead.
Who have spoken in the name of the Lord.
Of the who?
In the name of the Lord.
Because even when you read back up, it has said brethren and prophets. We know who this is talking about, man. This is talking about Israel, man. So it really ain't no getting around it. I know when I looked at the comment section, man, I was looking at the computer. I'm supposed to be looking at the camera, but But like, yeah, we know this is talking about Israel, man. So hey, take heed to this. But go ahead.
For an example of suffering and affliction.
Of what?
For an example of suffering and affliction.
Because even like I said, who have spoken in the name of the Lord. Because we speaking in the name of the Lord right now. And it says for an example of suffering and affliction, man. So we bringing up the different examples of showing you like how brothers in this in these precepts, like in these precepts, how they was suffering some type of affliction, man. But go ahead.
So like end of patience.
And of what?
End of patience.
So we showing you like how Job had patience, how Paul had patience, man. How David had patience, man. Because hey, even with like how to the point like even before all that Capt brought out, we had Saul trying to kill David, man. And like I know he did bring it up. So he had to hide in at nighttime, man. I'm talking about wait for Saul to move around or whatnot, because he tried to hit him with a javelin, man. But go ahead.
Sure, Esau tried to kill Jacob. Guess what? Both of them knew. David and Jacob knew they could have killed both of them. David could have killed Saul, and Jacob definitely could have killed Esau. But guess what? That's not what the Lord wanted to do at that time, man. And guess what? You gotta have patience. That's right. I know Jacob, knowing all these things, he could have just killed Esau right then. It would have been done. Right. Guess what? Saul could have killed Esau, and then all this would have been done. But guess what? The Lord doesn't feel it wrong, man.
That's right.
Go ahead,
yeah, man, it's crazy. Hey, that patience, boy, that's something. So I'm talking about even when we be at work and stuff, we got these heathen nations, or even your own brother. Sometimes you want to go across their head, man, but you hold your peace, and you let that patience, override, man. You're like, man, I could have got you, but you know what? I'm gonna change, man. I'm gonna try to do better, man. Hey, because the Most High God say, hey, I'm gonna fight for you, man.
That's right.
I ain't gonna spoil it, but go ahead.
Mine. You get right, get right. Stop standing.
I can't get right. Piss me off today, but
Word story. Word story.
Man make it, man. Because after all that he had said, And you know, we had some type of a couple of words, but it wasn't just too bad. After all that, he said, "Hey, Core," I was like, "Huh?" He like, "Have a good weekend." I was like, "Yeah, you too, man." That's the most I got, you know, fight for it.
James chapter 5 and verse 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure.
Read that again.
We count them happy which endure.
Said, behold, we count them happy which endure, man. So, hey, you see that man over there endure, best believe that man is happy. Man. But go ahead.
Ye have heard of the patience of Job.
Hey, that's the spirit, man. I forgot that part was in here, but go ahead.
And have seen the end of the Lord.
And have what?
And have seen the end of the Lord.
Because, you know, I know Capt Benaniyah had brought this out, you know, a while back. Like, you know, trying to, you know, test our thinking. You're like, and have seen the end of the Lord. Let you know that, hey, Job is coming back on this earth, man, as well as a couple other prophets. But go ahead.
That the Lord is very pitiful.
He's very what?
That the Lord is very pitiful. End of tender mercy.
So, you know, the Most High God, he can have like a sweet side to him and towards his people, that is. But as soon as you piss him off, the Lord was hot, man. But go ahead.
But above all things, my brethren, swear not, neither by heaven, neither by the earth, neither by any other oath.
Read on.
But let your yea be yea, and your nay be nay. Lest ye fall into condemnation.
Because I mean, I wasn't even gonna read that, but even with that, man, brothers gotta let our yays be yays and nays be nays, man. Are you gonna serve the Lord or you not, man? Hey, are you gonna keep on being faint-hearted? Or are you gonna keep on enduring and have some type of patience? But next precept we're gonna get, matter of fact, go back to Romans, what was that? 8 and 28. I didn't lose my Romans.
28. The book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 28. And we know that all things work together for the good of them that love the Most High. That love the Most High.
So, you know, hey, all the good is going to come to them that love the Most High God. If you paraphrase, go ahead.
To them who are called according to his purpose.
According to his what?
According to his purpose.
Because, hey, these afflictions and things that we're going through, hey, it was called, you know, it's happening because, hey, we got a purpose, man. Most High God, he called us all into this truth. He told us it wasn't going to be easy. But at the same time, he's like, hey, it's still a light affliction, and I still expect you to serve me. Because, hey, look what Joshua, man, he was going through some things too. And he even tried to run from the Most High God. But you know, you can't run from the Most High God. But in the end, he wound up getting his stuff together because he like, well, I mean, I done got swallowed up by a whale. I done got threw off a ship or whatnot. Hey, the Most High God, he was still with me through all that, man. So, you know, but go ahead.
Verse 29. For whom he did foreknew, he also did predestine to be comforted to be conformed to the image of his son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren.
Among what?
Among many brethren.
I mean, that's a deeper subject on that part, but the part I was really touching on is like he already knew what our purpose was, man. It was all predestinated, man. They're like, yeah, you're gonna go through all these things, but you know, the kingdom is at hand for you, man. I called you to this truth. So, hey, we got everything that the Most High God told us that we need, man. We just gotta apply them things, man, so we can have it. It's an open book test, like we always say. But go ahead and read on.
Verse 30. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called.
Them he what?
Them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified.
He did what?
He also glorified.
So he called us, he justified us, he glorified us in that end, man. So hey, again, we gotta wrap our head around these things.
Hey, what it's tough. Hey, because even think about it. Let's even think about how we were just talking about Job. Guess what he called Job? He justified Job. I guess we'll put him through the affliction.
Yep.
Let us say, hey, devil, do whatever you want to Job. Do whatever you want. Just don't kill him. He was justifying himself, Job, right then, man. All hell is breaking loose in Job. Guess what? He said, I'm justifying this brother, man. And guess what? At the end, he glorified Job, man. Guess what happened? Guess what he said? You gonna come back and you gonna see that end, man. Guess what? You gonna come back and you gonna be able to kill a little bit of them. Guess what? You gonna be there. You gonna see all of this thing because why? I justified you. And before even all this thing, man, I called you, man. Guess what? I proved you. I put you through that fire, and guess what? You came out gold, man. And that's what you gotta do, man. Job could have, man, I lost my wife, my land, I lost everything. But guess what? He didn't do that.
Right.
He picked his chin up.
That's
you
right.
Gotta survive, man.
That's right.
You gotta endure, man. That's what comes with this thing, man. If the Lord predestinated, you gotta go through it. Regardless if you got your head down or whether you standing up tall, you still gonna go through it. Guess what? Like, I mean, I'm gonna pull him up later because even with Christ, man, hey, Christ knew he had to drink that cup.
That's right.
Whether he took it cheerfully or whether he didn't take it cheerfully, you still got to take that cup, man. Regardless, man. Say, hey, take it on the chin, man. Pick your chin up. You gotta go through it, man. You got to.
Just to add on to that, hey, this the real stuff. Can't save everybody either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because my intentions was to go to this funeral, you know, just to get, you know, a little history on my background because I was gonna be from the tribe of Gad and stuff like that. Most High ended up sending me a spirit, and I observed that thing, and I said, I told Bruce, I said, man, I'm not gonna go to that funeral, man. And you know what, brothers put the precept in the chat. He said, man, I just read this today, man. Let the dead bury their dead. Hey, look, even your own family members, sometimes you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to duck and dodge them, man. Hit them with a juke move, bro. You know what I'm saying? You got to shake this world as well, man. Hey, the Lord's gonna have mercy on whom He have mercy, and compassion on whom He have compassion. And I'm thankful for the Lord for sending me that spirit. You know what I'm saying? Having that compassion on me to put it in Bruce's spirit to read that thing, because that thing hard. Trying to literally, you gotta go to your auntie funeral, but you gotta shake that thing. You know what I'm saying? I know plenty of brothers in this truth had to go through the same thing, bro. But that's just a heads up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. That's the strongest spirit that the Most High God put on us, man. Because he lost his auntie, his auntie and whatnot, and he know that she ain't coming back. But what is Ak doing? He finna go out there tomorrow and go to the highways and byways and wake up the spiritually dead people.
That's right.
And that's all praise for that, man. Because you lost one, but you probably gained 10 tomorrow, man. That's gonna try to come into this truth, man. The Lord's will, or what the case might be, man. But it's the Lord's will. But next precept we're gonna get is 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9. So Most High God, He got an example right here, man, with us, man.
12, you know?
Yeah, 2 Corinthians 12, man.
We already
Go ahead, man.
the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. For my strength is made perfect in weakness.
So even when you read up in verse 12, it's basically going into Paul's vision when he had the thorn in his side or whatnot. But I jumped to verse 9 because he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee. This is Christ talking. We know read that it's Christ. But go ahead.
Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmity, that the power of Christ may rest upon me.
May do what?
May rest upon me.
So Christ is like, okay, my grace is sufficient for you, and my strength is made perfect in weakness. And then Paul was like, hey, most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So he like, hey man, I'm gonna go through all these things, but I know Christ is gonna rest upon me, man, in that end time, man. So we really gotta look at Paul all the time, man, too. But go ahead.
Therefore, I take pleasures in infirmity.
I do what?
I take pleasure in infirmity.
So Paul talking about, man, I take pleasure in my infirmities, man. So I like how Maccabees had brought up a couple of years ago. He was like, hey, you stub your toe, you hit your knee, if you bump your head, say all praise to the Most High God, man. And it be to the point where I be doing that, man. It hurt like hell, but hey, I'll praise to the Most High God. We're good. Hey, we're good.
Therefore, I take pleasure in my infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, like in necessity, in persecution.
Because hey, Paul is going to be persecuted, man. You know, for doing the Most High God's work that is. Hey, even when he was Saul at the time, hey, he was killing his people. Hey, people was trying to get him in. Then when he started doing the righteous things and whatnot, they still trying to get him. But go ahead.
In distresses for Christ's sake.
For whose sake?
For Christ's sake.
Because Paul knew, hey, I'm doing this for Christ, man. Just like that. Because you got to think about it, man. Christ did all these things for us, man. Hey, he nailed it to the cross as a Christian counterpart say, man. But hey, even when it comes down to that, if he did all that for us, what makes us think that we ain't gonna be able to do all that, man? You know, give it back in return, or even look at it on the aspect of like the things that he went through. What makes us think that we ain't gonna go through those things, man? And he was the king of, all kings, man. But go ahead.
Verse 11. I am become a fool in glory.
Now jump back down. After Christ's sake.
Shalaki. In distress for Christ's sake. For I am weak. For when I am weak, then I am strong.
Because hey, Paul knew strong. He was like, hey, my corner, my flesh and whatnot, hey, is weak. But through Christ, hey, it's strong, man. That's my spirit, hey, it's strong. But go ahead. But let's go ahead and go to 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 22. It's one of Don's favorite precepts, man.
One of mine.
Man. You read this in Camp 101, so that's just how the spirit, rock, man.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 22. Are they Hebrews? So am I.
So, this is Paul, talking to the, the apostles and false apostles and stuff, man, because he got into it or whatnot. But he said, are they Hebrews? So am I.
That's crazy. You said that. I was just thinking like that. Because like a lot of brothers think Paul was just doing this just to flaunt.
Right.
Nah, he did this for them because if you read up, like in verses 10, then you jump down a little bit to about 17, 18, 19, he said, man, I said, don't count me as a fool, but guess what? I'll be a fool for y'all. Listen to this. Right. He said, this ain't the Lord, this is just me. He said, because if you read, he said, where's that? I was just reading. No, my bad spot here. Verse 18, it says, seeing that many glory after the flesh, I will glory also. Guess what? He's like, I'm gonna be a fool, then I'm gonna be a damn fool too. Guess what? Paul was like, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all. Guess what? I ain't have to tell y'all my business of what I've been doing. He said, guess what? All y'all know of me, I ain't burdensome to y'all. He said, all I came to do is preach this word, go across the churches, teach y'all everything that I know, because Christ is in me, man. He said, you can't stop what I'm doing. But since y'all want to know what I'm doing so bad, guess what I'm gonna tell you? I'm gonna be a damn fool. I'm gonna tell y'all everything. And I'm but that's crazy. He said, I'm gonna say it boldly. He said, I speak foolishly, but I'm bold in this thing too. Because guess what? He foolishly for flaunting himself like that. That's why you read I pulled in chapter 12 and 9. He said, man, the Lord said his grace is sufficient for me. He was happy with that. He said, I glory in my infirmities. Right. He said, I'd rather take that. Guess what? That's why he bold in that thing, because he took everything that he named cheerfully. He ain't complaining about it. He said, since y'all want to be damn fools thinking I ain't did nothing, watch it. Show you. Right. Go ahead, man.
Man, just we gotta take initiative to that thing, man. The book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 1. Cause we skip right over these things, you know what I'm saying? When we come into this truth, that's exactly what Sirach chapter 2 say in verse 1. It said, if you come into the truth to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation, man. And we forget about these things. Right. Read that real quick.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 1. For as much then as Christ has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
You gotta have the same mindset, bro. Because they was just like they was coming to try and tempt Christ. They come to try and tempt Paul. Guess what? Even in these last days, you see they coming online tipping the brothers. I always in Capt Benaniyah class. Always in the Captain's class and in the brothers' classes and stuff like that. This was stuff that you gotta see. if you can't see this thing on a spiritual level, man, you gotta check yourself. Read on.
For he that had suffered in the flesh had ceased from sin.
And this is the point. We cease from sin how? Through the Hamashiach. The Hamashiach was that lamb. See, a lot of us, yeah, we do mess up, but at the same time, a just man falls 7 times. A just man do that, but he still get back up, right? Read on.
That he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men,
To the lust of men, read.
but to the will of God.
And we already know what the will of God is. Psalms 40 and 8. Keeping them laws, man.
That's right.
That's what Christ came back to do, and that's what Paul is trying to teach our people to do. Come back and keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, because these are the things that we're gonna be judged by.
That's right. That's right. We already started 21, man.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 21. I speak as concerning reproach, as though we had been weak.
As though we've been what?
As though we had been weak. Howbeit, wheresoever any is bold. I speak foolishly.
What?
I speak foolishly.
Because, hey, Paul even knew, hey, I'm a fool for Christ's sake, man. Hey, y'all might look at me foolish or whatnot, but hey, I'm going to be a fool for Christ, man. And I'm going to be bold about it, too. Same with us, man. Hey, we're willing to die for this truth. And Paul had his mind, already ready. He like, hey, I'm ready to put it all on the line. We is too, man. Because we still got them same type of spirits that our forefathers had, man. There's nothing new under the sun, man. So we try to challenge brothers and sisters like to have that same mindset, man. Because I know like brothers that just came to this truth, they still, trying to wrap their head around it. Sisters as well, man. But once, like I was bringing out earlier, like with the experience, like how patience brings forth experience. Hey, once you start learning and you keep on meditating on these scriptures, hey, you're gonna have that same mind, man. It's just a matter of time, man. Just keep on enduring. But go ahead.
I am bold also.
I am what?
I am bold also.
Hey, bold is a line, man. But go ahead.
Are the Hebrews?
So, hey, Paul, he's like, hey, are they Hebrews? Read on.
So am I.
So I'm what?
So am I.
Because hey, know that Paul was sure enough, damn Hebrew. But go ahead.
Are they Israelites? So am I.
Hey, Hebrew Israelites. Hey, so am I. Go ahead.
Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I.
Hey, we know who Abraham had. He had Isaac and Ishmael. We know that Isaac was that chosen seed. Through Isaac, he had Jacob and Esau. Jacob was that chosen seed. But go ahead.
Are they ministers of Christ? I speak as a fool.
I speak what?
I speak as a fool.
You say I speak as a fool because again, hey, I'm a fool for Christ, man. But just know that yes, I am a minister of Christ. But go ahead.
I am more in labors more abundant.
I'm what?
In labors more abundant.
Hey, he said more labors more abundant, man. So he's like, hey, all these works that I'm putting in, hey, it's more abundant, man. Every time. But go ahead.
In stripes above measure.
Hey, I'm talking about I'm beat damn near to death, man. But hey, I'm still enduring this thing. But go ahead.
In prisons more frequent.
More what?
In prisons more frequent.
I'm talking about, hey, ain't nobody go to prison more than Paul, but probably Christ. But hey, we doing it for Christ's sake because there's gonna come a time where hey, we're gonna be cast in the prison houses, man. Because they even do it to this day. It's like you got to think about it. Whether you're a wicked Israelite or whether if you're a righteous Israelite, hey, they both see us as Israelites and we both gonna be in there, man. Well, like our brothers had said, there was like that we probably have brothers in there crying, man, bringing out these precepts and letting them know that they the real chosen seed, man. And that they got to keep on enduring these things. But go ahead.
In depths all.
Hey, talking about he almost dead, man. But go ahead.
Of the Jews 5 times receive I 40 stripes.
So you got to think. He said of the Jews 5 times received I 40 stripes. So you do the math on that. How many times this man got beat, man? But go ahead. What do you say after that?
Save one.
Say what?
Save one.
Hey man, that is tough. Man. Like you read that and you can't do nothing but that for it because like man, Paul really doing this thing, man. He ain't playing. But go ahead.
Thrice I was beaten with rod. Once I was stoned.
Once I was what?
Once I was stoned.
So you got to think about it. anytime like a brother did some type of wickedness, or like if you're doing it for Christ's sake, if you stone, most likely you're gonna be dead, man. But hey, he was stoned and he survived that thing, man. Paul was a strong brother. He had to be, but go ahead.
Thrice I suffer shipwreck.
So hey, he was on the ship. Hey, he done suffered shipwreck, but go ahead.
A night and a day I have been in the deep.
I've been in the what?
I have been in the deep.
So, he was just stuck in that water, man. I know Paul, he could swim, but here, it ain't no telling how far out he was in the ocean, man. But go ahead.
In journeys often.
Hey, he was always traveling, to and fro in the earth, man. Trying to preach this gospel. But go ahead.
In pearls of water. In pearls of rock.
Because the word pearls just means like a trouble, whatnot. Go ahead.
And pearls by my own country.
So, even jumping back up, he said, hey, I was in like some troubling waters, man, because how water gets after a while. They get got them currents and them drop offs and all them things, man. He says, and pearls of robbers, meaning Paul's getting robbed, man. Then it says, but go ahead.
And pearls by my own country.
My own kinfolk, they over here, doing me dirty. Go ahead.
And pearls by the heathen.
Hey, I'm even receiving the other end, man. Other heathen, they doing me dirty. But go ahead.
And pearls in the city.
Hey, when I hit the city, the city doing me dirty. But go ahead.
And pearls in the wilderness.
Go ahead.
And pearls in the sea.
It said in the pearls in the wilderness, man. So even when he was in the wilderness, hey, he was suffering some type of affliction. Hey, in the sea as well. But go ahead.
And pearls among false brethren.
Among who?
Among false brethren.
I'm talking about it could be brothers that was like, Paul held near and dear to him. But hey, even them, hey, they were false brothers. But go ahead.
In weariness, in painfulness, in watchings often.
So Paul, he was weary and he was like watching these things in pain, man. Because he's seeing these people and he's seeing all these things that's happening upon him, but he still had in the back of his mind, hey, I'm doing this for a reason. Go ahead.
And hunger, and thirst.
Talking about those days where Paul didn't eat, man, or drink. So hey, he probably threw up a fast, man. But go ahead.
And fastings often.
I'll praise him. Go ahead.
In cold and nakedness.
Yeah, I'm talking about probably ain't have any warm clothes to wear, man. He said in nakedness, man. But go ahead.
Besides those things, besides those things that are without, that which cometh upon me daily, the curse of all the church.
Curse what?
The curse of all the church.
So out of all that stuff that he mentioned, man, he said, hey, I'm caring about this church, man. I'm caring about Israel, man. But go ahead.
Who is weak?
Who is what?
Who is weak? And I am not. And I am not weak.
Read that one time, man.
Who is weak? And I am not weak.
So hey, Paul basically telling these brothers, hey man, y'all got me messed up. He said, who is weak? I am not weak, man. Hey, you might be talking about somebody else, but as far as me, hey, I done been through some things, man.
Yeah, because he had said the question. He said, who is weak? And he said, am I not weak?
Right.
Guess what? Paul went through all of this thing. He said, man, am I not weak? Am I not faint?
Right.
But guess what? He said, mental hell with all of that, man.
Right.
Because that's what he said in verse 28. He said, beside those things that are without, all the things in his name. He said, things that come upon me daily, the things that I worry about, the things that I go through, and the things that I'm more focused on than all of these things I'm going through. It's taking care of all the churches, man.
Right. But like, even because how like Job 11:6 said, like, even how I brought it out in that aspect. He like, Paul, he was toe up, man. Like how I was bringing it up. Yeah, he was told, he like, who was weak? Because y'all, brothers, they was also complaining and stuff. But then, hey,
Look at me.
hey, you're like, look at the things that I'm going through. But at the same time, he also saying, hey, who is weak, man? But go ahead.
Who is offended? And I burn not.
And I what?
And I burn not.
Hey, because Paul was hot, man. Paul was like, he said, who was offended? And I burn not. I'm talking about, it was so much rage in Paul, man. Because he's seeing all these things. You're like, and I burn not. Because just like how the Most High God say, or like how we bring it out whenever he said, and the Lord was hot against Israel, man. So that's how it's a black man talking. But go ahead. So kind of black man. But go ahead.
Verse 30. if I must needs glory, I will glory of the things which concern my infirmity.
Hey, and it goes all the way back, man. He said, if I must needs glory, I will glory of the things which concern my infirmities, man. But go ahead.
The God and Father of our Lord Yahweh Shah, which is blessed forevermore. Know it that I lie not.
And he had with that, man. He said, know it that I lie not. Yeah, like we always say, I bullshit you not. But next precept we're gonna get is 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. You know, the classic.
You said 1 Corinthians?
Yeah, 10 to 13.
I thought you said 2.
No, 1
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. Therefore had no temptation taken you, but such as is common to men.
So like even with that little part right there, he said, hey, all these temptations that you're going through, know it's common to men. Like, it ain't nothing new under the sun. So hey, you might be going through it, but you got a million other brothers and sisters going through the same thing. But go ahead.
But God is faithful.
But what?
But God is faithful.
But hey, in the midst of all those things, God is faithful, man. But go ahead.
Who would not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able.
So hey, you might look at it as, man, woe is me. But the Most High God said, hey, all those things you're going through, hey, it's not above your measure. Otherwise, I would have put it on. Because you got to think about it on the aspect of like how some brothers they can go and see their whole family die, man, and they still be able to endure it. Some brothers and sisters, they might not be able to endure that. But you know, Most High God, He knows us. He knew us from the womb. And, you know, but go ahead.
But will with the temptation also make a way to escape.
Also what?
Also make a way to escape.
So all these temptations that you be going through, because like even going back to I was talking about can't get right. I could have handled it a different situation, like a different type of way. And the situation could have escalated and I could have gotten fired from a job, man. But instead, you know, I let the Most High God fight for it. But go ahead.
That you may be able to bear.
That you may be able to what?
That you may be able to bear.
Because hey, that's the whole thing. Endure, survive. But next precept we're gonna get
real quick. A good precept to that mud is Job 11 and 6. It was going into how it's talking about how wisdom is double, but it's also saying that you know, the Lord exactly thine infirmities less than we deserve. You know what I'm saying? So that's a good precept to put with that thing.
Next precept, we got one more precept after that. But James 1 and 2, you know, another classic. Yeah.
The book of James, chapter 1, verse 2. My brethren.
Hey, going back to that same word, brother, man. But go ahead.
Count it all joy. When you fall into diverse temptations.
Hey, because even like how I said in the beginning of the class, when the Lord love you, He chastened, man. He said, when you fall in all type of you know, diverse temptations, when all hell is breaking loose, hey, count it all joy. But go ahead.
Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience.
That the trying of your what?
That the trying of your faith worketh patience.
So like if you was looking at the correlation of the class, it all just sums it back up, man. He says, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, man. But go ahead.
But let patience have her perfect work.
No, her imperfect work.
But let patience have her perfect work.
It says her perfect work. Let it have her perfect work. Go ahead.
That ye may be perfect in entire.
No, half.
In entire.
Hey, because you're gonna be perfect and you're gonna be entire. We don't.
Wanting nothing.
Wanting what?
Wanting nothing.
So hey, you ain't gonna want nothing, man, in the end.
I like how the Lord said that. I like how the Lord said that. Because it says, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, right? Then it says, but let patience have our perfect work. Because guess what? That patience, you might be waiting. You might, God damn, it could have been right on time, right? And we could have. Man, rent doing a 6. It's about the 5th, man. Hey, I'm getting impatient, man. It's kind of itching, man. Like, hey, now it's the 8th, you know, the rest of the day. But damn, why the rent person ain't called me yet? Right. Damn, the whole time they done got paid by somebody else. They done paid double. They done paid your rent. Guess what? Patience, you gotta let it be perfect. Guess what? It's not perfect in your eyes or how you feel like it's gonna happen. Nothing is gonna ever happen like that. How you ever think it's gonna go? It's not how it's gonna go, bro.
That's right.
Guess what? You might say, I'm gonna read 3 chapters today. Guess what? The Lord put on your spirit, read 10.
Right.
He might make it like you only to read 1, but that 1 chapter is mighty as hell.
Right.
You never know what the Lord have in store for you, man. That's why you gotta let patience have her perfect work. Because guess what? That patience, that's how you know Esau gonna get it in a perfect manner.
Right.
Guess what? That's how you know we're gonna get back in rulership in a perfect manner, man. Because right now things aren't perfect. Guess what? We still need the 1/3. We still need the 144,000. Guess what? We still need the 2/3. We need the good slaves of the other nations because all of them don't look that good. They look a little unhealthy.
Right.
Guess what? It's not perfect right now. But what that perfect patience, that's when we're gonna get all these things, man. And that's it, man. Go ahead.
Because you even gotta look at it on the aspect of like brothers and sisters that like cooking. Do you want that microwave patience or like the microwave perfect things, or do you want that stuff that's been in the oven for like Lord knows how long, man?
On that grill.
On that grill, on the smoker, man. So you gotta think about it, because say if the Lord decided to come back today or whatnot, and we looking at all the things that we are going through, and looking at like how we even look at our everyday lives, looking at ourselves. Are we really like ready for that thing, man? Or do we gotta still like let that thing simmer and let it marinate, man? Because when he come, it's gonna be perfect, man. Most I get perfect timing, man, every time.
You know, the body's a temple. Guess what? You can't wait till the Lord come. Be like, oh, hold on, Lord, let me clean up the kitchen real quick. My bad, I forgot you was coming. I ain't even know you was coming. It's too late for that.
Too late.
Guess what? When he come back, everything is gonna be perfect in order with whomever he is that he come get. Guess what? The house gonna be spotless. Lord, I knew you was coming. Come on, go ahead. Kick up your feet. You know what I'm saying? You know, speaking spiritually, not physically, of course, man. We know Christ come back. He not sitting nowhere. You know, a lot of killing, man. So we know these things, man.
That's the same thing. Let's go literally into that Matthew 22:9 all the way down. You know, not having that weighted garment on, man. Right. So we gotta make sure that we stay in order with these things, man.
Right. You go back to it, like we always know that oven food is always gonna be better than microwave. But last little spiel, I know the most famous precept, brothers that got apocryphals and sisters. Hey, this is the one of the best pick me up precepts that you can read, man. You can read this mud so many times you never get tired of it, because it's a true statement. But let's go ahead and get it. You know what I want. Go ahead. We're gonna read down 11.
Where you want to
start at verse 1? We're gonna read 1 and stop at 11.
All right. The book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 11. My son.
2:1. 2:1.
Yeah,
Shalaki. The book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Hey, it's like how I was bringing out earlier. Hey, whenever you're going through these things, prepare your soul for temptation. Hey, you come to serve me, prepare your soul for temptation, man. But go ahead.
And set thy heart aright. And constantly endure.
And do what?
And constantly endure.
So, because like even going back to how we was talking about, most of God knew that you couldn't endure these things. He wouldn't have told you to constantly endure, man. It's like you're basically making them alive if you say you couldn't endure it, man. You know the Most High, it's impossible for the Most High God to lie. So hey, you the lie, endure, nigga. But go ahead.
And make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him.
Do what?
Cleave unto him.
He said, make not haste in time of trouble, man. So when you at your lowest, man, hey, go to the Lord. He told you, hey, I'm here. And he said, cleave unto him. But go ahead.
And depart not away.
And do what?
And depart not away.
Because hey, these are don't have the spirit, sensual, man. Well, I said it back, but you know what I mean. Jude 1 and 19. Because hey, once you start trying to depart, man, hey, you being sensual, and then you don't have that spirit, man. And the Most High God, He'll put a delusion on you. But go ahead.
And depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
Because if you don't depart and you cleave unto the Most High God right now, hey, you're gonna be increased at that last end, going into that kingdom. But go ahead.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee.
Now, some things is brought upon you.
Whatsoever is brought upon thee.
He said, whatever. And you can name anything, man. Whatever is brought upon you, read on.
Take cheerful.
Do what?
Take cheerful.
Read on.
And be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
Because hey, it's really been a class about faith, patience, endurance, and what? That's it. That's the covering of it. It says, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate, man. Because hey, you gotta be patient. But go ahead.
For gold is tried in the fire.
Because hey, he basically giving an example or like a similitude. He says, for gold is tried in the fire. Read on.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity.
And it says acceptable being in the furnace of adversity, man. So just like that gold is in the furnace, hey, you know, it takes some time, but once you burn off all them impurities, I think that's how you say it. Hey, once all that stuff is burnt out, the gold might be probably about this small, man. Hey, that's just like with us, man. We get all this sin off of us, and we come back to the Lord, and He see that we are tried gold. Hey, we'll be all right, man. Because He'll accept us, man. We go ahead.
And the precept for that gold is Joel chapter 3 and verse 4 on that. Literally talking about how you taking my gold and my pleasant things,
Right.
but it also says you taking the children of Israel, you know what I'm saying, and the children of Jacob. Right. So we are compared to that gold.
Praise. Go ahead, huh?
Verse number 6. Mm-hmm. Believe in Him.
Do what?
Believe in Him.
Because hey, we know believing is an action word, man, according to Sabbath 32 and 24.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
And He will help thee.
And He will what?
And He will help thee.
Hey, you believe in me, I will help thee. But go ahead.
Order thy way aright.
No, order thy way a left.
Order thy way aright.
Hey, right, man. But you go ahead, stop.
And trust in Him.
And do what?
And trust in Him.
But go ahead.
Ye that fear the Lord, wait for His mercy.
Do what?
Ye that fear the Lord, wait for His mercy.
You gotta wait for His mercy, right, man. Because hey, yeah, you over here, you like, damn, when Christ gonna come. Wait for it, man. Like that's one thing I know the Most High God, He mad about us, man, because that patience, right. Hey, that's something for it, man. But hey, He know that we can do it, man. But go ahead.
Go not aside, lest ye fall.
Lest ye what?
Lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe Him.
Hey, reiterate yourself. Go ahead.
And your reward shall not fail.
Hey, you fear the Most High God and believe in Him. Hey, your reward is not gonna fail, man. It's that King. But go ahead.
You that fear the Lord, hope for good. And for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old.
Just like how I brought out earlier. We're gonna read it again, but go ahead.
Look at the generations of old and see, did any ever trust in the Lord? Did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? So
we're like, hey, look at all the prophets, man, and all our forefathers. Was any of them confounded? But go ahead.
Or did any abide in His fear and was forsaken?
So was any of these brothers, or sisters, when they feared the Most High God, was they forsaken? No, they weren't confounded, because even in Isaiah 45 and 17, how Jerubbaal always, pulled, we should be ashamed or confounded, man, because we know what we talking about, man, because the Most High God put it on us, of course. But hey, we trying to keep these commandments, and once we started keeping these commandments, you can't stop it, man. But go ahead.
For whom did He ever despise that called upon Him?
Hey, He's also saying like, hey, everybody that called on me, listen, if you call on me, I'll answer you, man. But it's not gonna be at your time; it's gonna be on my time. But go ahead.
For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiving sin, and saving in the time of affliction.
In the time of what?
In the time of affliction.
Man, because hey, Most High God, every single time He's gonna save you at your affliction. But with that, say shalom. I appreciate it. Oh, go ahead.
All right.
Let's get Luke, man. I've been itching on that one, man. Luke 22, we're gonna start at 39. Lucky, man. So we always gotta get the best example of them all, man. The best one. Gotta get the Lord.
You said 39 or 29?
22 and 39.
The book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 39.
Now this is going into Christ knew, of course, He was gonna have to die. Last Supper just went on. Guess what? All these things are transpiring, right? Go ahead, Doc.
And He came out and went as He was wont to the Mount of Olives. and his disciples also followed him.
Mm-hmm. Read on.
And he was at the place. And when he was at the place, he said unto them, pray that ye enter not into temptation.
Mm-hmm. Read on.
And he was withdrawn from them about a stone cast, and kneeled down and prayed.
So guess what? We know the disciples went to sleep on him. Guess what? We know these. Guess what? It's different storylines and everything lines up like this, right? That's why he was telling them pray that you enter not into temptation, because they went to sleep. He told them, hey, stay up with me, man. Stay up another hour with me. Come on, go ahead. And guess what? So he kind of went away from him a little bit. You know, he kind of went to some privacy, man. He kind of got on his knees and he started praying to the Lord, right? His father. What was he saying?
Saying, Father, if thou be willing.
The first thing he said, if you be willing, man, if it'll be in your will, right? Read.
Remove this cup from me.
He's like, man, remove this cup from me, man. Because guess what? He knew that cup right there. Hey, he was going to have to die for a lot of people. That's wicked as hell. Wicked. Because guess what? That's what he said when we was reading early in the class, man. He said he died for the ungodly, man. Guess what? Because guess what? We was all wicked at one point in time. Guess what? It was even the Israelites said, hey, you can take his blood, you can put it on us and our children. Put it on all of us. We don't care. Kill him. We want Barabbas. Guess what? He knew what was going to happen, man. He knew all of these things. He knew who was going to betray him. Guess what? It was one of his 12 disciples. He knew these things, man. He said, remove this cup from me, man. I'm going to have to get tortured. I'm going to have to get beat, spit on, slapped, stabbed. I'm going to have to get beat down to a pulp right now. He said, man, Lord, if it be your will, take this cup from me, right? Read.
Nevertheless.
He said, nevertheless. Guess what? He didn't get beside himself, man. Guess what? He was like, man, take this cup. But he said, hey, hold on. But nevertheless, though, right? Read.
Not my will, but thine be done.
He said, not my will, but your will be done. Because guess what? If it is your will for me to take that cup, well, then guess what? I'm going to take that damn cup, man. And I'm going to take it cheerfully, man. But watch this, man. With him saying these few words, choice words at that, mighty words. Read verse 43, man.
And there appeared an angel unto him from heaven, strengthening him.
Doing what?
Strengthening.
Guess what? With him standing mighty on his forefront, he didn't stay down. He picked his chin up. Guess what? The angel of the Lord came in and picked his spirit up, man. Guess what? The angel of the Lord could have been one of the disciples. Could have actually been a damn spirit from the Lord, man. Came and picked him up like, hey, man, come on. This is where you're going to be at when you come back here, man. Guess what? Hey, you on the right hand of God. You just got to take this in the flesh. Let's take it, right? Read.
And being in agony.
Guess what? And being in agony, man, he just thinking about it. More and more you think about it, because guess what? We all gotta go through Jack Trump. Whether we dying in it, whether we survive in it, we all gotta go through it.
That's right.
We all gonna have to go through something in our lives, man. And being in agony, because we in agony right now. Guess what? We the poor that's calling out to the Lord right now, man. Our time, the whole class together. They said being in agony, what did he do?
He prayed more earnestly.
Guess what? He prayed harder to his Lord, man. He went hard for this God, man. He said, guess what? I'm going through these things right now. I'm going to go harder for the Lord. Guess what? I lost everything. I'm going to go harder for the Lord, man. I can't pay my bills. Oh, I got more time to praise the Lord. I ain't got my car. Guess what? I can't drive nowhere. So I'm going to stay and praise the Lord. Guess what? I'm going through whatever I got to go through. I'm going to praise the Lord harder and harder, man. Read.
And his sweat was as it were great drops of blood falling down to the ground.
Man, I'm telling you, man, Christ went hard for his Lord, man. He went hard. Guess what? He went hard for Israel, man. Because he knew he wasn't just doing it for himself. He was doing it for everybody. Guess what? He knew. I said, I got to take this cup. Lord, if it be your will, take it out my hand, though. But guess what? Couldn't nobody bear that cup, man. Can't nobody bear your cup. You can't give your cup to your son. You can't give your cup to your daughter, your wife, your brothers, your sister. Whatever the Lord put your cup in, you got to take that thing, man. And guess what? It's on you whether you take it with your chin up or not. That's it. Go ahead.
And another thing, you got to look at what he told his disciples, man. He says, pray that ye enter not into temptation. That's the Lord's prayer. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil.
Right.
So we just got to, stay prayed up, man. If he told his disciples to pray, man, why you think that you don't have to pray, man?
If he did it his damn self.
You know what I'm saying? He prayed himself, man, for real though. Like that's some deep stuff, man, that I'm touching on, man. So but that's some deep stuff that I'll wake up on, man. prayer going down. I'm always sitting prayer. It's 10 o'clock.
It's funny, man. But guess what, man? Hey, that's a perfect example, man. A literally perfect example. Guess what? When it's time to pray, because guess what? Praying, it comes with something. You praying, hey, the Lord build me up. Well, guess what? You got to work to build yourself up. The Lord ain't just going, oh, Lord, build me up. You ain't got to touch this all day. You ain't got to touch your Bible. You ain't got to go to the highways and byways. You don't got to congregate with like-minded brothers and sisters. Lord, just build me up. Give me all the wisdom. Oh, okay. All right, here. It don't work like that, man. You got to put in the work.
Because that's the thing. That's exactly what I was saying earlier, man. Iron sharpening iron like a mug, boy. Man, and the reason why I was saying these things because I go through the same thing. I was a individual, like, bro. I used to be by myself all the time, and I did not care, bro. I used to love my personal space. Now that I came in this truth, brother. Hey, y'all come over my crib if y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? The Most High done bless me with a house and a car. You know what I'm saying? The Most High, you know, He blessed me with some things. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, that's why I be like, hey, brother, if y'all brother need to come spend the night, I don't care. If whatever y'all got going on, look, hey, let me know. Well, even when I'm at work, y'all just need to get away. Just come to my, you know what I'm saying? Come to me, come chop it up with me. I'll give you the key, you know what I'm saying? Early. You know what I'm saying? You can spend the night or whatever while I'm not here. But just remind yourself, man, you can't do this thing alone. If Christ needed his disciples to stay up with him, bro, that's tough stuff, bro. That go to show that you can't do this thing alone because he picked Peter, John, he picked his disciples, man. He knew who was gonna rock with him. And even within the disciples, the 12 disciples who he had, he still had a handful of disciples that he was real close to, man. So hey, you got to be like that, man.
I hate to run that thing long, but that's tough, boy. Because guess what? He did pick the three. He said, I picked my best three. We can go over here and we can stay up. And guess what? They all went to sleep. But guess what? Even when you feel like you're not with your brother, or guess what? You can't get a hold of him. Guess what the Lord do to him? In verse 43, he let an angel appear and strengthen him up, man. Guess what? That's why the Lord put that spirit on you so strong one day. Be like, man, you going so damn hard. You going hard. You look up 3 hours on him. You're like, oh, well, damn. My brother was at work. He don't get out till 6. Then it's 7:30. Well, where the time go? Guess what? The Lord literally sent an angel on you to strengthen you right there. Guess what? If a brother can't get to you in time, guess what? If you kind of alone, let's say you on the road like Officer Yaakov, right? Brother Ray, Minnesota, and Fort Worth, Funky Town. Right? Guess what? If you on the road, and let's say, man, you without the camp, man. You without. Guess what? You can call them, but it's always better being in person, man. Guess what? The Lord will put that spirit on you, man. Guess what? He'll send the spirit over there to strengthen you up during these times, man. So never forget what the Lord can do to you as long as you pick your chin up and endure this thing, man. Go ahead, man.
And I'm gonna tell you what really helped me, because when I first got in the truth, I came to class I tried to come to every class, bro. From Sunday, even though they at first we didn't have Tuesdays when I first came in, but from Sunday, from Wednesday all the way to Monday, I was trying to stay in the classroom, bro. And that thing, and it helped me a whole lot to get, not only built up, but get that spirit that brother's trying to feed you, you know what I'm saying? Because they feeding you the words of the Most High. They trying to feed you these scriptures, and you gotta stay with it, bro. You gotta keep coming. So, shoot, hey man, my encouragement to y'all is just keep trying to come, keep trying to gather around brothers and like-minded sisters. You know what I'm saying? Y'all lift up one another.
Any more closing remarks?
Let me get a free. Nah, let me get a free sub. Look at that. Nah, I'm good.
No, it's like even our camp brought up like how they was all asleep. Hey, 46, and he said unto them, why sleep ye? Rise up and pray, lest ye enter into temptation. Hey, basically giving them with the Friday reference. You better get your ass off your shoulders and rise up and pray. So he said, lest you fall to enter into temptation, man. So we always got to reflect on those things. But hey, nevertheless, pick your chin up. You gotta survive. You know, all praise for the brothers and sisters that tuned in. You know, I hope the class was edifying. I know it kind of long. I wasn't expecting it to go long. I really was expecting it to be 45 minutes, but you know, hey, that's the hey, but you know, that's the spirit of the Lord, man. But hey, you know, with the GoFundMe and all those things, you know, y'all arms is being greatly used, you know, for the nation, man. They can use them to get a Cadillac and private jets, you know, that TJ thing and all them dudes, man. You know, it's greatly appreciated, man. You know, we out in this captivity together, so like, you know, let's you know, help each other as much as we can. But you know, at the end of every class, we always bring out the you know, bring out the law because we are the lawgivers, so you know, we bring these things up, man. Today's law will be Exodus 14 and 14. What I brought out earlier.
The book of Exodus, chapter 14, and verse 14. The Lord shall fight for you.
My mama gonna fight for you.
The Lord shall fight for
My
you.
daddy gonna fight for you.
The Lord shall fight for
He
you.
said, "The Lord shall fight for you." Read on.
And ye shall hold your
You
peace.
shall what?
And ye shall hold your peace.
All that fight that you got in you, let the Lord handle. You gonna hold your peace in the end, man. Because if you try to fight, Lord ain't gonna hold his peace on you, man.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, y'all got anything else, man? Say shalom.
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 Should be a bit over there.